Okay, before I invite Pastor Franklin to offer the sermon, to give the sermon today, which is called Issues, I Got Some. I'm sure we can relate to that in some way, but we'll hear more. But I want to do a couple of Bible readings for you before he comes up. Okay. And they came to Jericho. This is from Mark, the Gospel of Mark, I believe, yeah. And they came to Jericho, and as he was leaving Jericho with his disciples and a great crowd, Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, the son of Timaeus, was sitting by the roadside. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And many rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." And they called the blind man, saying to him, "Take heart, get up, he is calling you." And throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. And Jesus said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And the blind man said to him, "Rabbi, let me recover my sight." And Jesus said to him, Go your way, your faith has made you well." And immediately he recovered his sight and followed him on the way. This is Father's words. I have experienced prison life many times since the age of 24. I am a man who never surrendered to the authorities. Even under torture, even when my nose was broken and blood oozed from the wounds of my head, even when my neck was injured, I kept absolute faith and conviction in God. I held out against my torturers, thinking, "Go ahead and hit me. The bat will break, not my body. Go ahead and cut off my hands. No matter what cruel tortures you put me through, still I will not give in." Countless such stories are embedded deep in the marrow of my bones. In these incomprehensive places where no one can come up with answers as to why, I came to recognize that my Father's tearful love was right there. And still I know that many thorny paths and deep valleys lie ahead of me, paths that others will not understand, which I must face alone. With these very precious words, I'd like to invite Pastor Franklin Fortune, who I've known many, many years. He's a good friend of mine, and also he and his wife Cecilia are working very hard. In fact, they do fantastic work in South London. It's a very successful church community. So without further ado, let's invite Pastor Franklin Fortune.
Kind of an honor to be here with you today. I was quite encouraged. Just as I was walking across, Mrs. Ayashi come to me and says, "Oh, Franklin, son, you're coming to speak here today. Good," she says. So I thought I'll share that with you. She said, "Yeah, good. You're coming to speak in our church today. Good," she says. So I hope it's a message you can relate with, and maybe it's a message she'll be happy to hear herself. If she was, of course, as I'm telling you, she's here today. So issues, I've got some. Is there anyone here who don't have any issues? Too many to count, yeah. Yeah, so actually we all have issues. We all go through many trials. We all go through many difficulties. It's a fact that they said that life is full of difficulties. Life is full of difficulties. So the truth be told, all of us in this room have issues. There is no doubt about that. It doesn't matter how smart you are or how many degrees you have or what job you do. The truth of the matter is that you have been dealing with issues, and some have plagued you, and consumed your life. This issue might even be started in your first year in school. Some might even say it even started in the womb. It even started in this womb. In your mother's womb, your issue started. And we are living in a society where Young people as well as adults are exposed to all things that can literally cause them to say, where are these thoughts coming from? Where are these thoughts coming from? Am I going mad? And at times it can cause us to feel as if we're kind of outcasts. We're now living in a society that is dominated by all kind of trend that tells you how your life should be lived. That you should walk around with you put a tattoo across your hand or your neck, or you should, the trend is that you should just try to make sure that nobody have green hair here. Or you should color your hair green or do some other ridiculous things. So we feel we cannot even be ourselves. Isn't it, we're not even happy with ourselves. Isn't it sad that we are not even happy with ourselves? Are you happy with yourself?
Yes.
Well, your first response is what I take. Your first response is what I take. And I can see that your first response, not yes, I'm happy with myself. To be honest, I could not fully answer that question 100%. Yes, I'm happy with myself. Because we all struggling to even like ourselves. I was in the airport recently, and when I'm in the airport, one of my hobbies, I like to study people, see what they think. And as I look around, I want to see, is there anyone who look like me? I mean, all these people, God cannot be so amazing that he just create one me, and I'm thinking, I'll be in trouble if I find another me because, it's difficult to find another handsome guy like me, right? So, but luckily, there was nobody else. So actually, I come to the realization there is only one me, one unique me. Because God made me to be that one unique me. There's not many people like me. And isn't it amazing that you are unique? There's only one you. And you still struggle to like yourself. Even God made you so unique, you still struggle to love yourself. You still struggle to believe in yourself. Many times we are so afraid that people's opinion of us will cause us to be ostracized and put to shame. We don't even want to wear certain clothes. We walk around hiding. We don't want anyone to know that we are in pain and bleeding inside. We don't want anyone to know that we got a handicap. We don't want anyone to know that there's some skeleton in our cupboard. And sometimes we don't even know how to control it, stop it. We go to church and the message says, you should pray. Or you should pray about it. You should just do 100K. Study the word. Be in with the word. That will help you. But what they don't know, that you have been fighting. You have been fighting a battle that you cannot even tell your mother. You cannot even tell your father. You cannot even discuss it with your husband. You cannot even discuss it with your wife. You have been fighting that kind of a battle inside. You cannot even discuss it with your friend. Don't even know what is going on with you. They don't even know what's going on with you. You have an issue. You question God. You ask him, you pray about it. But now, after some time, you feel that he's not listening. God is not listening to me. God is not listening to me. So, if you feel that God is not listening to you, what do you? Yeah. When God is not listening to you, sometimes you feel that you don't even believe in anything anymore. When I says we all have issues. We all have issues. Even Father at times actually had issues. He was in many such situations, feeling rejected. Feeling he has really major issues. He's been appointed with an incredible mission, and then you find that he's been rejected and no support. So what lesson? We have to learn a lesson from that. What kind of a lesson we can learn? He discovered he has a major handicap. But we can overcome a handicap. Even though it's difficult, he showed actually we can overcome a handicap, overcome difficulties. He had no shoes, he had no roof over his head, he had no clothes, but he has a mission. The question is, what must his attitude be? What must his attitude be? Should I just focus on my handicap and issues and don't look at my blessing? I might be blind, but I can hear. I mean, the blind might hear. Most of us will spend our time complaining about being blind and ignore the fact that we could hear. So most people would want to have have you ever attended one of those pity party? Moan and groan about what they don't have, and you have forgotten to thank God for what you do have. You know, tell the person sitting next to you to concentrate on their blessing. Be grateful for your blessing. I don't think they believe you, actually. I don't think they believe you. If you're going to encourage somebody and you look across to them eye to eye and you have to say, believe in your blessing. You are unique. Yeah. You're not doing it? You know, it is a scientific fact. When you lost one senses, others will become stronger to maintain the balance. So in a reading today, I read this story in the Mark Gospel. Mark Gospel is one of my favorite Gospel because, you know, in his early ministry, Mark he failed miserable. He was a companion to Bartholomew, and actually Paul didn't trust him anymore, and then he was not going to give him a chance again. But anyway, Bartholomew says, yeah, you must give him a chance, and give him a chance again. So when you read Mark Gospel, Mark Gospel was like, he's the person who really want to learn his lesson. So he actually have a little, I see him as a person who had a little black book. So he was walking with Jesus, and he write down everything that Jesus said and that he wanted to remember it. Word for word, he tried to record everything that Jesus says. So in this story here in Mark, there was this story about this man that was blind. But he was very good hearing. And this man, he had some excitement. He was blind. It was impossible for him to see, but the text says he heard someone call out, Jesus. Not only did he have the ability to hear, but he also have a lot of social skills. He was a highly socialized person, even though he cannot see. You can say he was pretty streetwise. He know how to will. He know how to negate. He know how to be a risk taker, how to step out on faith. This story is telling all about this person. He know how to get people to do things for him. He knows something was happening because he can hear the commotion. He heard the commotion going on. He couldn't see, but he knows something was going on. So he had to ask somebody, what's going on? What's going on here? He asked. One of our biggest problems today is we are not risk taker. We are not risk taker. We never want to step out and ask somebody something. We have issues, we have problems, and we're not going to take a risk and share. Hey, Caddy, I'm really struggling. I'm feeling some difficulties here. I want somebody to talk to. That's taking a risk on somebody. Isn't it? Taking a risk to open your heart because that might help you. We live in fear. But this man, he didn't mind stepping out. Because one of the reasons that we all remain so defeated, we stay defeated because we lay down too quickly. We surrender. But we have to get up. Faith means that somehow we should get up. Don't lay down. Get up. Most people would rather lay down than try. But you have to get up. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming others. Isn't it that we always want to blame others for my issue? What's blaming others? What does that do? Well, you did that to me. Sometimes you blame others, people from 40 years ago. We're just blaming others. This is why I have this issue, because of you. Just get up. Concentrate on your blessing. Not only could he hear, not only was he highly socialized, but he could speak. This man could speak. After he found out what was going on, he cried out and said, what did he say? Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. That man was asking for what he wants. He was asking for what he wants. I cannot see you, but I know that you're around. Have mercy on me. He was saying, I have always done what your will, God, but have mercy on me. My family has not always been the best. We are all messed up, but have mercy on me. I know that I am not worthy to stand before you, but have mercy on me. I know that I don't love my neighbor. I don't love people, but have mercy on me. I know that I don't always treat my neighbor well right now, but have mercy on me. He was shouting that over and over. He could not find Jesus, because he couldn't find Jesus. But Jesus, because he was blind. So Jesus had to find him. Jesus had to find him and says, what do you want? What can I do for you? And he says, your faith has made you well. Then his eyes was open and can see. Was that the same for you? Was that the same for you? Or are you still blind? Was it the same for you? That you were lost and seeking to find some meaning and purpose in your life, and God stepped into your life? Was it the same for you? Look at it in verse 48. They told him, shut up. But how many of you know that if you want to get something from God, you got to learn how to overcome people. You got to learn how to turn deaf ears, how to put on blinkers when it comes to public opinion. If you don't overcome people, you will never get to your destination. You're going somewhere. You have to get to your destination. If you listen to what everybody said to you, you never get to your destination. Brothers and sisters, think about Noah. Noah knew how to conquer public opinion. Everybody thought he was a fool. You fool. What are you doing that silly thing for? You stupid man. But he had to overcome people's opinion. He listened to but he didn't listen to public opinion. He listened to the command of God. He listened to the commandment of God. In Proverbs 24:16 says, a righteous man may fall down 7 times and rise again, but the wicked man shall fall down once and lay down. People may tell you to shut up, but because you are righteous, you must keep getting up. Keep getting up. Even if people, whatever opinion, if that opinion can even come in your own family, actually, People, where is people? People is everywhere. Can be in your own family. But you must keep getting up. Finally, if you want to deal with your issue, you got to cast off your old garment. A garment is what we cover ourselves with. When you take off your old garment, the real you is exposed. The real you is exposed. Are you with me? Yes. The real you is exposed. The Bible says your righteousness is like filthy rags. Your righteousness is like filthy rags. And that is the garment of self-righteousness that we cover ourselves in. All this kind of, we think we're so good, we think we're so better than anybody else. There's those kind of feeling that we cover ourselves with. When you take out your outer garment, everybody can see everything about you. If you humble yourself, and people can see who you are. But sometimes we are not risk takers. We are afraid. We are afraid. We are afraid to show who we really are. We are afraid. We not trust. You might be your friend for a long time, but I'm not sure if I trust you. I'm not sure if I trust you. I'm not risk takers. So I can live a life of pretense. Live a life of pretending. I come to church and I look holy, but yet I am not so holy, really. Because I'm still walking around with my old garment of self-righteousness over me. When you take out your old garment, everything is exposed. We're afraid to show our true self to others. When we show our true self, what do you think will happen if you show your real self? If you say, oh, look, I'm really afraid of weakness and I'm terrified to talk to people. Or something, this really, and I'm struggling with this issue. I like chocolate. Yeah. And I must eat chocolate. But actually, it may seem as a bad thing to show who you are, just to confess. It might seem like a bad thing just to confess. Clear yourself off. Growing up as a Catholic, that says confession is good for the soul. And I've always found that to be true. Because as long as you store all this thing inside, you cannot be free. It might seem like actually it's bad. People seeing who I am, that's bad news. No, that's good news. You see, when you take off your old garment, that's when God's love, God can hold you. God's love can come to you. When you have some issues that you are tired of, you have to be desperate. You have these whole issues. You've been walking around with this whole coat. It's dragging me down. I'm struggling in my family. I find it difficult to love my children. I find it difficult in school. I find it difficult everywhere. My heart, when I go to school, I cannot connect with people. I cannot do anything. So many things in me. It's so difficult. I'm walking around with this thing that's wearing me down. It's wearing me down. I come to church, I want to experience God, but I don't know who is God. Who is this God they're talking about? I don't know, because your heart is not, as long as your heart is blocked up, how the heck are you going to experience the blessing of God? How are you going to do that? If I have a negative and bad feeling inside of me, it's difficult even to connect with people, never mind God. Take off your old garment. That's when God can heal you. When you have some issues that you are tired of, you have to be desperate. I know my issue will be exposed. I know my issue will be exposed. I know people might talk about me. So what? So what? I don't have time to be cool, calm, and collective. When you take off your old garment, that's when God's love can touch you. God's love can touch you. When you take off your old garment. When that man was desperate enough, he received healing. When he was desperate enough, he received healing. He didn't shout, he didn't say, if he said nothing, and he just sit there, Jesus would walk right past him, don't even notice him at all. But he was desperate. And because of his desperate heart, then Jesus heard him and healed him. And then also, we ourselves is in need of healing, aren't we not? Are we not? Yeah. We are all in need of healing. Deal with your issues. And I'm always trying to, the thing, people are so afraid. We are always hiding and trying to avoid our real self, my own self. We're hiding from our own self. We're always trying to say, just be honest with yourself. Face your reality. God is a God of love. He's not going to drive you away. Even if you haven't been doing something right, He's not going to turn you away. It's still something we have to praise God about. Because you are alive. Enough to call on His name. You're alive. Call upon His name. Turn to God. It is like Job. His thinking was, God is keeping me. So God is keeping you. God is protecting me. He is sustaining me. He's not letting me, he will bring out the best in me. So even in the middle of it, lift up our voice. Invite God to sit down in the middle of your situation. Yeah. Aju? We have to be desperate enough and to invite God. It's not a housebreaker. It's not going to, if you keep close, if you want to keep close, if you want to keep your heart closed, well, it'll try. It'll try. You get many, people might come and tell you many things. But people might tell you things that even will probably keep your heart even more close. Yeah? It can be that. Or you can really find that quiet place, really, and examine yourself. Be like Mark. Have your little book and write down your little diary. What is God saying to you? Not what the pastor is saying to you. It might be helpful, but you have to find something for you. Your personal relationship with God also. When I was walking here today this morning, Mrs. Ashley says, Franklin son, how did I hear that? How did I hear that? Yeah, because we have spiritual hearing, isn't it? Am I spiritual open? No, I'm not spiritual open, but I have hearing. I can hear. I cannot see. But I'm not blind. I cannot see spiritually, but I can hear something. And people that I've close with in their life, I can feel the presence. And he says, Franklin son, good. I hope you think it's good. Thank you very much. Just finish with a prayer. Most beloved parents, I really want to pray your blessing over the community. Really pray, Father, each one can feel your love, feel your grace, feel your blessing. Father, each one of us, sometimes we're desperate, but sometimes we don't know how to shout out your name. We don't know how to call upon you for help. And Father, you stand by watching. We really pray, Father, from today, Father, in this month of September, we can again really strive to be a risk taker, really strive to strengthen our relationship, try to reach out and open ourselves and allow the blessing of of God to come down into our lives and touch us and give us new inspiration and hope. Father, we don't want to live life hiding. Hiding is no good, Father. How can we hide from you? Adam and Eve tried that, but really, you as your Father, you know all the different things. We don't want to continue the old tradition of hiding, even though we might have handicap and difficulties, but nevertheless, still, you can guide us and heal us and lead us in the path of righteousness. Thank you, Heavenly Parents. We want to offer this prayer and report this in the name of Franklin Fortune, blessing through family. Aju.